when we describe a psychotic episode as a break from reality, I think it's normal to think, that's just crazy. That is crazy. And to me, it's funny to think of insanity, to think of mental illness as being crazy or insane. The thought of it at all. Think that the thought of mental illness is crazy. And in our day-to-day lives, we may come across people who are mentally ill. And unless you're mentally ill, what you're experiencing when you come across a mentally ill probably isn't completely insane. It's just not crazy to you unless you're mentally ill. So, I want to focus on empathy for the mentally ill and sympathy for people who are suffering from disabilities such as mental illness. So, what I want to have you discover is that even if people don't seem like the norm to you, maybe you could still look at them like they're human, like maybe they're not normal, but they are human beings. They are God's creation, and maybe we should empathize with them or sympathize with them and know that God wants us to be good to mankind. So, I don't mean to spell it out to you and be sarcastic about anything, but what I want to do is provide you with a little insight into what's going on in society with mental illness and the stigma and stereotype of people who are suffering. Because some people, when they think of craziness or mental illness, they think of the insanity of psychopathic behavior, and they think of killers, serial killers, mass murderers, homicidal people who are victimizing society. And although there are people like that, and don't get me wrong, we are doing something about people like that, obviously, but not everyone who is mentally ill is like that. Not everyone who is mentally ill is a homicidal killer. There are people who are suffering from mental illness who are not killers. And that's what we need to realize, that there are people out there who are really suffering and need our empathy and sympathy. They need people to try to take a walk in their shoes and look at them from a standpoint of being human and not even being bad people. And that's the approach that I was taking in this new book that I'm coming out with, that I just came out with. This book is called Mentally Schizophrenic. And it's a story about a guy named Corey who is schizoaffective disorder. He has schizoaffective disorder, and he goes through trials and tribulations, but it's also an insightful book that is inspiring. It's very inspiring because it's positive for the most part. There is some stuff in there that's heavily dramatic and that is serious, but most of the book is very inspiring and very positive and leads you on a journey that could give you some insight into the world of schizophrenia in a way that you've probably never experienced it before. In a way that you see how to cope with schizophrenia and schizoaffective disorder in a way that maybe you thought was never possible. So I want you to read this book. Again, it's called Mentally Schizophrenic, and it's at www.amazon.com. Go to the left of the search field and click on all and scroll down to books and select books and then search for Alex Karlins. Alex Karlins. You'll be happy that you discovered this great book because it tells you everything you need to know to get a handle on coping with mental illness in society and in your own day-to-day living in your house. So go to www.amazon.com and click on all to the left of the search field. Scroll down to books, select books, and search for Alex Karlins.